thinking about my relationship. Not like all the bad stuff like I usually do. Like how we got together and stuff. Like when we, like how we progressed. Like when we got together, it was all brilliant. Like there was nothing wrong. We spent all of our time together, made each other laugh. You know, the general beginning relationship stuff. I just got out the bath, so like sorry for my hair. But yeah, and then I don't know what happened. Like a couple of months later, I just, oh god, my ear. It started it started going like really bad. Like I would call him all the time, but there was no need to. I'd text him all the time, and like we were both on pay as you go, so I don't know how I had so much money. Especially seeing as at that point I didn't have a job. And I was just like, well, hold on. Like, how have I always got the credit to talk to him? How can he never reply? And it was just to do with like networks. They charged different amounts and stuff. But then I got like really shitty if he didn't reply to me, and I was like, well, hold on. Why should I get shitty if he can't reply? You know, he can't reply. And then he ended up being so pressured to talk to me. He would like use his mum's phone, and then it was costing his mum as well. And I was just like, why am I doing this? Like, this isn't fair on him. But I didn't know that at the time. And then we got to the stage, like, after, like, a year and a half, almost 2 years, where I was just constantly on his back, constantly having to go at him. And then he left me. And that was, like, that was, like, a week, I think. And then we were like, okay, no, sorry, I really do love you, but, like, it just got too much. And I was like, okay, I need to change. And then I kind of didn't. Like, I was really bad. I got into the same habits again. And then I realised, hold on, I should trust him because he's never done anything that means I shouldn't trust him. So I just, like, carried on with that. And I was just like, keep going and keep going. And then I started, like, spending weekends at his. And, you know, he'd go off and see his friend. I was that overbearing. He would go off and see his friend, like, all the time. Like, he'd spend 8 hours at his friend's house. And I'd be sat at his being like, well, I came to see you, but obviously you don't want to see me. And again, that would cause more arguments. And then I was spending time at his mum's, and then sometimes I'd spend like 2 nights there, and she would listen to us yelling because there was no way she could get away from it. And I felt guilty every time, but I didn't have the balls to go up to her and say I was sorry, because it was only after we stopped yelling and we were okay that I realised how bad it must be for her. This is her home. I'm coming into her home and I'm just causing shit with her son. I'm like, that's not fair for anybody to have to be around. So yeah, I was really bad. I was your classic, like, oh my god, get out of that relationship. So I genuinely do not know why he stayed with me so long. And then, like, we just carried on like this. And then eventually I was like, getting on his back because I wanted to move in together. I was like, seriously, come on, like, we're old enough, what's stopping you and all this shit? I didn't think about anyone else. I was so selfish. I was just like, it's what I want, why can't you do it? And we just carried on like this, and it must have been killing him. Like, it probably was, like, really, really bad for him. But yeah, so eventually we moved in, like, this place here. We now live together, and I mean, we progressively got better. Like, he's trusted me more, I've trusted him more, because we've never had a reason not to trust each other. So I don't know where that came about. And there were just so many illogical problems. And for me, it was like, the way I was brought up, I was just like, you know, guys should treat people, guys should always be like treating me better than anyone else. Like, if he was kind to someone else or answered someone else's text first, I'd be like, oh, so I'm not important. And I was like, it was nothing like that. It was really nothing like that. It was just a case of, like, the other person texted, he had his phone go off on that text, so he replied to that one. And then saw that I'd, like, text him, and then he'd reply. And I'm like, okay, well, fine. But at that time, I was, like, 17, 18, I really didn't care. I was just like, I don't care, you should be replying to me first. You should be replying straight away. I mean, this was a guy who was going out to earn money, help pay for things, you know. And what little time he did have spare, he would spend with me. Apart from when he went to see his friend, because I was really bad. But yeah, I didn't respect that. I didn't particularly care. I didn't listen to the reasons. I just thought he just didn't want to spend time with me. And, like, right now, where I'm at is, to be able at work, to be able to get the hours I need, I have to do closes. And unfortunately, when I'm doing a close, it means Joe leaves at, like, 6 in the morning to get to work. And he doesn't get back until 5. And I think that was the main reason for me finally actually realising how shit I was and how I needed to be better for him. But, like, I have to start work at 4 when I do a close, which I'm not complaining. Whoever's watching this, I am not complaining. I need the money. We need the money. But sometimes it does get hard. And I think what started this, like, video off is I started thinking about, like, today, for instance, I'm going in for a close, and I haven't seen Joe in 3 days, like, apart from say good morning or good night, and that's it. And I'm there going, it's really hard, like, really hard. How am I supposed to build a relationship when I barely see him? And then he said to me the other day that some members of his family say we've just got this thing between us that just makes us work. And I started, like, I wanted to cry. I have this thing at the moment, I just want to cry a lot. But yeah, I was like, that's just, like, and they've seen all the shit I've put him through and all the shit we've been through together. They've seen it all, they've heard most of it, you know. So yeah, and to say that, for them to say that is, like, a huge thing. And I don't know, I felt like maybe he deserves better. So, like, when we argue, it usually comes around to, like, it doesn't happen often anymore, but when we do argue, it comes around to, I'm saying, oh, well, go find someone better, you know, obviously you can find someone better, and that's emotional blackmail. Like, no, I should not be doing that. I'm like, oh, obviously I'm so shit, you know, oh, obviously you can do so much better, oh, and then I say, like, oh, what would you have without me, oh, and all this shit, and I'm there going, hold on, what would I have without him? Like, seriously, what would I have? I'd be living at home, I'd be really lonely, I'd have nothing in my life apart from work, and I'd just be really fucking bored, or I'd be at uni, like, doing what I wanted to do. Another story. But yeah, I'm like, I was really bored, I'm really lonely, and I really miss him. Like, it's been 3 days, it's really hard. It feels like when we were young and we couldn't see each other all the time. It's just really, really hard. And, yeah, we are better, trust me, we are so much better than we used to be, but, like, what I would say to anybody out there is, trust him straight away. Do not blow up his phone. Do not call him all the time. Don't get shitty if he doesn't reply. Hello. Contracts, like, sometimes networks are down and shit. Loads of shit goes on. That means he can't talk to you. Or he's just busy. Or he's working. Just don't take it for granted. Don't take anything for granted. I mean, I used to hound on Joe because he didn't buy me, like, presents all the time. And I saw my friends getting, like, presents off their boyfriends. And I would always be like, where's mine? Don't I deserve presents? Like, hello, but it didn't even come into my head that he didn't have the money to do that. So yeah, just don't take them for granted. It will suck if you lose your guy or girl or whatever. You're gonna be heartbroken or you're gonna be fine. Now, if you're heartbroken, sucks for you. You probably helped that happen. And if you're fine, then obviously you didn't care and you were just having a go to get out of it for whatever reason. But yeah, so I should appreciate him more, and basically, I think nobody really deserves anything. I think in life you have to work for everything you have. So that's why, like, I mean, I used to always have a go at Joe for his games. He would never get off his fucking PlayStation, and I'm there going, yay, great, you go do that. And I'll just go sit doing nothing because I don't really have many interests. And then I realised that's not bad on his part, that's bad on my part for not having any interests. So, hey! But yeah, just work at a relationship. It's not just going to be, you don't have to be weighted on hand and foot. I mean, it's equal. If you're going to survive living together, he can't do everything, or you can't do everything. You've got to have, like, equal ways. I mean, where I'm closing, I don't cook dinner. But then I don't do the washing up, and that's really lazy. So, like, now I'm just like, well, maybe I should do the washing up, seeing as he has to cook every night because I'm not there much. So, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to help you, just explain a few little things about me and my relationship. Nothing graphic, though, because nobody wants to hear that shit. But yeah, just really, like, love is special. Like, it sounds so cheesy, but love is special. You don't need to take it for granted. If you're going to have a happy life, you need to appreciate people for who they are, not what they can give you. Okay, bye!